Hi friends, Adarsh here. So now we're gonna see how we can we can what we can do. We can secure the Spring Boot services by using Spring Security. So these are the REST-based services which we're gonna secure by implementing custom token-based authentication system. So I have done already the coding part, and I'm gonna explain you how I have done. So for this we are using Hibernate, as well as we are using MySQL database. So all credentials are stored in the MySQL database, and which we're gonna fetch by using Hibernate, and then Hibernate Spring Security internally use those Hibernate stuff and secure all the services. So what it gonna do, it gonna generate the tokens, and based on those tokens, as a part of request, we're gonna get that tokens as a part of request, and those tokens we're gonna validate, and then we'll give access. If those tokens are not valid, we're gonna tell as a response that these are the invalid tokens and all. So let's go into the code first. So this are standard stuff: group ID, artifact ID, parent, Spring Boot starter parent, and then organizational tag, licensing tag, and then developers, and then repositories, then a bunch of properties like project name, source code, encoding, Java versions. Then we have a dependencies like Spring Boot starter dependency, then free marker related dependency. Although this application is REST based, but there's a UI. Once application come up, that UI will pop up, and it gonna tell that application is already come up. So this is the Spring Security starter dependency. This is the Spring Security data JPA dependency. MySQL, this is for Hibernate basically. This is for connecting to the MySQL database, that drivers. And this is a Tomcat dependency, followed by the servlet dependency here. Then we have a Spring Boot starter, then we have a common lang, then Joda API, time related stuff, and common code. Then we have, so in this application I have used EH-Cache to cache the tokens basically. So I'll not hit the database again and again. So, and those tokens are cleared on the specific time itself. This is a name of the jar file, executable jar file, output directory. Then plugins, we have a standard Maven compiler plugin, and then followed by the Spring Security Maven plugin, which gonna create a executable jar. So let's get into the code. So we have API server view bean class, so where we have a username, password, token, message, HTTP status. I'm gonna let you know what these things gonna do for us. And then we have a response bean class. So response bean a class which is when the response comes from the server, it gonna encapsulate the response into this class based on XML or JSON, depends. This API server bean is something when we request with the username, password to the server to get the token. The response will be encapsulated in this class as a JSON. And then we have a persistence configuration. These are these are the standard stuff, like enable transaction management, property sources. So from the application properties, we are reading bunch of property like context path I have disabled, server port is there 8080, sorry, it's a 9090 here. This is a message. And then database related configuration like driver, MySQL URL, username, password. Then Hibernate related configuration like dilate, show SQL, and DDL tool. And these are the log related stuff. This is the token secret, and this is it's just I just kept, anyhow this is I already kept as a part of SQL here. Then we have a security. So first we'll go into the security configuration here. So security configuration is this class is annotated with the configuration enable global security, and then order we have override, and then component scan we have done. This class extended from web security configure adapter, So the here we have configured the URLs which we don't want as a part of security. Other than that, if you see, the session management and all these things are stateless. Anything comes slash this thing and all these things, give permission, this complete permission. That's what we have specified. And after that, any login URL. So I have created this constant. So you can see that's rest/authentication login. This URL permit all the things, and for welcome URL /rest/welcome, any of these roles are mandatory. So here the typo, actually it should be a user admin instead of super admin. It should be a role admin only, and then /rest, any URL with the /rest should be authenticated. Basic HTTP disable, form login disable, remember me disable, request cache disable, then X509 disable, logout disable. Filters, what we have configured here, authentication token processing filter, and which authentication token processing filter which gonna execute before basic authentication filter. I'll get into that. And exception handler, we have created a entry point here, and then access denied handler. So basically this is an exception handling things. So entry point, and then entry point. So here if you see what we have done, we have just created a we have just configured the authentication provider. So we have a REST API authentication provider. If we get into this method, it's gonna create an instance of REST API authentication provider. So we'll get into one by one. And then we have authentication manager, which we are using already from the parent. Then we have a authentication provider, this already we have seen. Then authentication token processing filter. So in this filter we are injecting authentication manager and token service. And this is authentication entry point, means portal entry point. So this is what already there. And then access denied handler, we have REST access denied handler. This is a password encoding, and then token service and all. So all these are the entries which we have created here. So first we get into the authentication entry point. What it does, it just implement authentication entry point and override this method, and it's gonna set unauthorized for the request. So based on this, first request will come to the Spring filter, and then from that filter it gonna come to the authentication entry point, and from here it gonna get into the token processing filter. So basically this token processing filter, if we see the code here, we have injected the token provider, token service, authentication manager, security context provider, lot of things we have created here. So inside once inside this filter, we gonna once this filter execute, we gonna get the header value of this. If header is null, if header is not null, we gonna get the token. Okay, and then we are checking whether the token is null or not. And then if token is, so if this token service, so basically this token service is something which is based on the EH cache. So this whenever we get the token, we gonna store in this token, and based on this milliseconds, okay, this will evac the cache. But till the time we can get the token from this cache, so that's why this is implemented. So we'll not hit the database. So first we'll check whether the token service contains this token. If it contains the token, okay, it means that is a valid. So we'll say token service dot retrieve token. So we'll get the authentication. So what basically we have done, first time when the user requests, okay, we'll check whether the token with the help of token provider. If token provider says that it's a valid token, so from that token we'll get the user, and from that user we'll say authenticate user. We are calling this method. and we are creating a username password authentication token and setting the username and password. We are setting the authentication this thing details, and we are building the request, and we are getting the security context, and then based on the authentication manager providing the user password authentication token, we are getting the authentication, and that authentication we are setting in the context as well as the token service store, which is a cache. So that's why first we are checking in the cache. If it is there in the cache, we will get directly authentication object as authentication object for that token itself. If we are not getting, then we are going into that token provider service, and then we'll do a lot of stuff here. So this is the access denied handler. So because of unauthorized access or something, this is gonna execute. And we have a authentication provider, REST API authentication provider. We have injected the user manager. What user manager does, we will get the authentication object. From that authentication object, we will get the name as well as the password. So based on that username, we will get the user object, and then we're gonna get the authorities and setting up the username password, and then creating a user detail object, authentication object, and then we are returning the authentication object. Okay, so and then we have a failure REST API failure handler. So once authentication is not successful, we'll get the response from this class. And this is already we have gone through security context provider. We have it's just a one method, two methods here. Then we have a token provider service. So basically token provider service internally use user manager and secret, which we have configured in the property file. This is a message digest as all these things. So token provider, what it gonna do, it gonna whenever we'll say user object, we will say get token. Okay, so this is an I will go one by one because it's a long code. So is token valid? So what we gonna do here, we'll pass the token here inside that, and it got, because token is created with multiple values, so it will rip out all the values, and then it gonna check it gonna use the user object and then get the user, and if check with the help of these methods, it is checking the user, and then after that it says based on the expiration time and all, it will check, and then it gonna say true and false to us. So here, because this, if we will not get the user, we will not get the bytes and all. So here itself it says if everything will get the bytes, then it will check for the date and time, and then based on that it gonna say true and false. So if token expires, this gonna execute. If it not, then this gonna execute. So build token key here. So this is a method get user from token, where we are passing the token, and then other bunch of method, helper method. You can just go through one by one. This is a token service which already we have seen, which internally use cache. We have created a scheduler which will execute and evac the things. We have a user detail IMPL class. Then we have an exception handler here. It's a centralized exception handler which can execute and respond us based on the sum of the things. So here we can see that there's a mistake in the spelling. I have corrected based on the exception, and this is a default exception handler which can execute if anything went wrong. So same old stuff, we have entity, abstract entity, and then we have an implementation of user and user report. All these are Hibernate stuff. So if you follow my tutorial one by one, you know that all things I already have explained in the earlier sessions. So this is the repository, then followed by entity repository and abstract repository. So inside this we have injected a session factory, same old code which I have created for Hibernate, Spring Boot Hibernate security application. So we have a role repository, a user repository, and then their specifications. So in the web we have a manager, which user manager, which in turn use role repository and user repository. Then we have a application controller, so basically which serve this request. Okay, so what it gonna do whenever the request come for this URL, so this is a REST controller, so that's why we gonna, this is a boot controller, so we'll gonna get a JSON response for this. So what it gonna do, it gonna get the data and set the message and some of the information date inside the response bean, and wrap that data into response bean, and then send the response bean back to the client, and there it gonna translate into the JSON or XML based on that. And we have a REST authentication server controller here, service implementation, which is a REST controller. So for this is basically for login. So what it gonna do, it gonna use internally user manager, token provider and all. So whenever the request comes, it's gonna translate it into map, and from that map we'll get the username, password, and based on the user manager we'll get the user, and we are matching whether user get whatever the user we got, the password is matching to that or not. If not matching, we are throwing the invalid credential exception. Okay, and then what we are doing, we are using token provider.get token, we are passing the user and we are getting the token, and then token is all that token will encapsulate this token data into a API server. So API server view bean, which already I have told you, so it will encapsulate that data into that. Otherwise, if user is here, we have checked whether user is null. If user is null, we are throwing runtime exception also, user not found. And this is the generic exception handler. So that's how the thing is. And this is a application, this is a main class for starting up your boot application. From here also you can start. So let's go into resources. These are all static. Inside the resources we have static things, CSS, JS, and we have index.html, where it's just a standard single page, so that we will come to know that our REST server is already up. And this is a configuration for cache and application properties. Everything I have configured here. So for this I have created a test cases also. So this is a abstract class for test cases, where we are using Spring JUnit runner, then configuration class, our application, and then web app configuration, server port, and all these things, where we will say username, password, authentication, everything. So we have configured the we have auto wired the web application context and filter chain proxy. Then it will set up the environment, it get the mock object, and then there are a bunch of methods like JSON, converting string to JSON, JSON to object, and all this. Some util methods I have created, generate token with authentication user and all. So this is our test case, where we gonna say generate token for authenticated user, and we'll get the token here. And then test login for the user, where we'll say super here we are checking for the checking to hit the welcome URL. So before that we need to get authenticate, so we got the token, and then of that token we are setting into the URL, and then setting the content type and all the information, and then hitting the application. So I'll do one thing, I'll just start from this, and then we gonna execute the application and test it from the Postman. But before doing this, I need to create a MySQL database. So the script is already ready. So what I am gonna do inside the SQL, I'll just say copy. I already created some of the things in eSpark, but I need my own stuff related to this application. So everything is fine now. I don't want to save this eSpark. Oh, I have not selected eSpark, I guess. Just script tag, paste it here. So now everything is created. Now we can test. So now everything is fine in the database. So what we gonna do, we gonna execute so here you can see that whatever the message I am getting, that is welcome to application. And then if you see that earlier the token which is generated here, this token value is this, and then this is a URL again which we are hitting. This is a response for the JSON with the time welcome to the message and all this stuff. So this is a test case which we can execute. And other way is mvn clean install. I'm gonna bring up this complete server, and then we're gonna test it from the Postman. So for that I have created a help doc which is saved as a part of this. So mvn spring boot :run. So this application runs on 9090 port. So if I hit this URL, I'll get a default. So still application is not completely boot up. It's take time. So now see application come up on 9090. So I'm just hitting the URL, and so this is just a URL, and this is my blog. This is my blog where you can get lot of things, and this is my YouTube channel. So I'm using just a frame inside this. So what we gonna do, we're gonna open a Postman first, and we're gonna hit this URL. This is a post request. We're gonna set the headers. So it should be a raw information. Content type application/JSON. So this is what the response we are getting. So this is what token I was talking about. So this token we need to copy, or what we can do, we can just say duplicate of this, and then we have another URL which is a get request. get request with we need to set the authentication token. And that token we can copy it from this, and then we have to set the content, not content, and X. I guess this is sufficient. Yeah, so that's why you see welcome to the application others. That's what we have tested from the JUnit test case. And this is a status code, status messages, and all these things, bunch of information which is wrapped up into the response bean class. So folks, that's how we can test the application from these are the log messages and all. So that's how we can test our application by Postman. So I'm gonna save this piece of code into my GitHub repository, so which is Adarsh Kumar Singh etc Spring Boot. So all like previous application what I have done, Spring Boot security Hibernate and Spring Boot security DO authentication. So everything will be come up in this repository. So going forward, I'm gonna tell you how we can authenticate the user by using LDAP. So till then, thank you, bye.